Just here, and today I am bringing this video to you guys on Heir of Light to discuss something about the skill lock. Okay, so yes, it's a very basic mechanism or a very basic mechanics that would be actually pretty easy to grasp, but thing is that like there are so many players out that we are still unaware of this amazing feature in Heir of Light, which really allows you to manage the skills effect very easily. So today in this video I'm gonna talk about the skill lock, okay, locking out the skills and using them effectively. Okay, so this is especially for the beginners, so beginners special video indeed. Okay, so let's look into this video, right? So whenever you are focusing on your like servants panel on the bottom of your the table, okay, right out here, look, just focus on the bottom, and whenever you see a icon of a servant right out there, you will see a small icon right out there at the bottom left corner. Okay, so bottom left corner of the icon of, let's say, your servant control panel, and that lock icon in that panel are at the left bottom side of your servant icon. You can just click it once in order to make a lock on your combo skill. Okay, just click it once to lock the combo skill of your servant. You know what it does is that like it will not allow your servant to smash the combo skill. Okay, even though the skill gauge will be full, that servant will not smash the combo skill unless a combo is triggered. Yes, if the combo is triggered, that servant is actually gonna use his or her combo skill. Okay, you I mean, like, you just saw that like she actually used her first skill and the second skill, but she did not use her ultimate skill because her ultimate skill is actually, or let's say the combo skill is actually been locked. Okay, now we can click another time on the same lock in order to lock the active skills as well. So right now for Fire Lucian, she won't be able to use her first skill, second skill, or either the combo skill. All of her skills are locked, and you can see that like all of her skills are having that lock icon on the top, I mean, like on the bottom left corner of the skills icon. Okay, so that is the way how you are gonna know that, and click the lock once again to unlock all the features again. Okay, so now you can see that like my Fire Lucian is now able to trigger her combo skill. Okay, because like it's been unlocked right now, and obviously she will be able to use her first skill and second skill as well. Okay, and the next question you might ask is that like, let's say I have locked all the skills, will I still be able to use her skills? Yes, if you manually input like this one, 2, right, you will still be able to execute their skills. Okay, so that is one really good aspect of this mode as well. Let's say you have locked out the skill of so many other players so that you want to focus on the specific unit, but depending upon the time, like let's say your team is going down on HP, and in that kind of case you would want to use the healing spell of your healer, but you have actually like locked all the skills of your healer. Yes, in that case you can just manually click it and then make your healer do the healing. Okay, so yes, if you click it manually, even though the skills are locked, the skills will still be in effect. Okay, so that is pretty amazing, isn't it? So mainly for like, let's say, this boss raid, okay, the contents like this, I would only recommend you guys, I would recommend you guys to only unlock the skill of your DPS servant, whereas for the remaining of your other servants, you really need to like lock their skills so that like their skill won't be triggered, because like like the more skill of your DPS servant is smashed, the more damage output it's gonna come. I mean, like you can actually easily like compete for the highest damage output. But if your other servants also have like their skills unlocked, what's really gonna happen is that like, let's say Fire will be the one to use another skill, maybe my Fire Speaker is be the one to use another skill, and my Fire Lucian, who is a healer, is gonna be using the other skill. The thing is that like in such due process, my team won't be actually netting out a very good damage output, which could actually be a very anti-performance type, right? So I would really want to focus totally on my DPS unit, and she should be the one to using her skills very often, so that like I would be getting a high score on the boss raid, right? Same goes with nearly like every other game content in the Heir of Light. All right, so let's talk about how about farming. Okay, what can we do about farming? In the case of farming, guys, what you really need to do is, let's say sometimes you might not actually have a 6-star net 7, especially for beginners. Yes, for beginners this might actually be a big problem because you don't have 6-star net 7, in which case what's really gonna happen is that like you won't be able to use this repeat battle function which says only allow 6-star 7s to use the skill, because if you click on this one, if your main farmer who is like a 5-star at the current time won't be able to use his or her skill during the entire game. So you won't really want that, do you? So in that case, all you need to do is use this skill lock feature in order to stimulate that certain thing which is same as this one. Okay, meaning like only your farmer will be the one who will be allowed to use his or her all skills, whereas the rest of the unit won't be use any of their skills, even their combo skills, right? So that is what you really need to keep in your mind. Like let's say for example, okay, for example, I would really love to show you an example. Let's try to fight against this particular boss unit, and let's try to put our units like this one, and let's do the repeat battle mode. Okay, so when we are actually doing on the repeat battle mode, let's do on like only allow 6-star 7s. Let's try to take it off. Okay, so that means like all the units will be able to use their skills. But in this case of scenario, what we can actually do is, in order to stimulate that certain effect that only the farmer will be allowed to use his or her skills, what you can do is, double click the lock icon, and that will make sure that like this pathetic 3-star net 7s won't be the one to use their skill. Okay, see right over there, he won't be able to use their skill. Only the Fire Lucian will be the one who will be able to use her skills. Okay, so that's pretty much amazing damage. And there we go, boom. And by this case of scenario, it's actually gonna go come again. And next thing is that like once you have input that certain factor, what's really gonna happen is that like it's gonna be saved for the next battle. So you don't need to keep on, how to say it, like set it up again and again and again and again. Okay, so let's say you kind of left that battle and you are doing like some other contents, and you come back again to farm on this place again. Guess what, guys, the settings will be saved. Okay, the settings will be made default for that particular like how to say this stage, and this will really save you a lot of time because you don't have to set up the same thing again and again and again. Okay, so that is pretty much a very good bonus that comes with Heir of Light, which is pretty amazing, guys, pretty amazing. And next thing that you really need to realize is also that, let's say what if like this servant actually those fodders, these fodders 1 2 3, these 3 fodders actually get maxed out and somehow they are replaced by the other units. Will they also copy the same effect of skill lock? Yes, they do. Okay, depending upon the situation, their skill lock will like remain the same. Let's say I actually place my Fire Lucian here. Okay, Fire Lucian is here. If I do in this kind of way, what's really gonna happen is that like now the skill set of my Fire Lucian will be locked, whereas that of my this Gatorp, isn't it Gatorp? Yes, Forest Gatorp will be unlocked. Would you want to see? Just look at this, guys. Okay, so the placement of your servant really does matter as well. Okay, the skill lock will really be saved on the terms of the placement, okay, where your servants are placed on the particular like battle settings. Just look at that. The skills of my Fire Lucian is actually locked, okay, which I really don't want that to happen. Okay, so placement also really does matter. Okay, so those are the things that you really need to keep in mind. So boom, there we go, see, it's done. So this kind of skill locks are really available in any sort of battle, especially where you can do some manual inputs. As long as you can do some manual inputs during the gaming content, then you can expect to see some skill locks right out there, and you can manipulate the battle output by having a bigger, or let's say effective manipulation over your skill locks. Okay, so that's how it's done, guys. That's how it's really done, especially for boss raid and the farming. So rest is really up to you on how you really want to maximize the uses of your skill lock. Okay, so this is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to keep on enjoying the contents of my channel. See you guys in the next video.